Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 21 of the Tim Tebow Dynasty. In today's episode, we have our first road game of the season against the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this Pittsburgh team, I consider one of the best defenses in the league at the time because they still had a great safety in Troy Polamalu, and their offense is led by Big Ben. So, this is probably one of our tougher games of the season. So let's see how it goes. Now, this is the first time our offense has taken the field. We're already up 7-0 thanks to our defense returning an interception for a touchdown. After the performance last week by our offensive line when they only gave up 2 sacks, I was expecting something similar this game because with the improvements from the draft and free agency, I was expecting our offensive line to probably be one of the best in the league. But then we proceed to go and give up 5 sacks this game, so not looking too good anymore.
Here's the first snap after the big play. Incompletion on that hurry.
Yeah, I just had to throw the ball away instead of taking my second sack of the game right there.
Lewis moved away from the tight end position to now a receiver in the slot. And that's a gain of 10. The Jaguars now facing third down. A week ago, they were up to the challenge in these spots.
So Jones-Drew starts off pretty hot in this game. But then in the second half, it's like the defense figures out how to stop him because he only ends up with 60 yards for the game. I need to get him more involved because in the first 2 games, yeah, he's averaging a pretty good yards, but he still has yet to pick up a touchdown because he doesn't score this game.
The Jaguars now inside the 20. A week ago, they converted time and time again inside the red zone. What an effort and a touchdown.
All right, so our defense gave up a touchdown, so now our 14-point lead is down to 7.
Offense lines up here. 1st and 10. Here's the handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. Tackled at the 29-yard line. An extra tight end on the field for this one. They'll run it. Here's the handoff. They get to him just in time. 1 yard.
So let me know in the comments what you think, because through our first 2 games this season, we've attempted 67 passes and technically 51 rushing attempts, but 14 of those are from me scrambling. So realistically, only 37 run plays were called. So do you think I should call more running plays to keep it more balanced, or do you like how our gameplay is set up right now with our offense? Also comment if there's any records you think I should try to break, either single game records, individual season records, or maybe do you think I could go 16-0? I doubt that one, but there's other, like maybe I could score 7 rushing touchdowns in a game. Stuff that you'd want to see like that.
Go for it, and you pick it up. 1st and 10. And he's going to be brought down. Blackman's going to get set in the slot for this snap. Tebow's back in shotgun formation. No one's going to get him now. The 30.
One thing I did notice about this Steelers defense is they like to blitz, which a lot of times leaves one of my guys open for a big play, just like that one for Golden Tate.
1st and 10. That's not good timing between the
I was trying to go to my rookie, Zach Meal, but it got batted down at the line. Again, I still don't know how to say his name.
the 7th play of the drive. As good as it gets. Touchdown. Well, Lewis is shifted from tight end to a receiver in the slot. Jones-Drews taking the handoff.
All right, so at this point in the game, I'm feeling pretty good about my offense. It's looking like it's going to be another blowout. We might have the best team in the league. My expectations for us are higher at this point than I was expecting at the start of the season. But let's see how the second half is going to go before I get my hopes too far up. Our offensive line continues to struggle with the pass block, apparently. So I've noticed that they're pretty good at run blocks. So maybe I'll call more run plays going forward after this game. But then again, I also know that I hate watching teams that run the ball 30 times a game. I'd rather watch a passing game. So I'll probably still keep it around 18 to 20 times rush attempts, not including my rushes. So we like passing. Yeah, that was an awful decision to throw it there by me. I thought maybe he was going to get open because none of my other receivers were open, and he clearly was not. So that was my mistake right there.
Throws to the right, sticks to his hands. He's tackled at the 28.
And if anybody wants to see a different player get a redemption story instead of Tebow, leave a comment in the comments. Like, drop the name. Maybe you're a big fan of Johnny Manziel. Maybe you want to see me do a defensive player, somebody that was a bust. Or I could even do like one season to send somebody off, like maybe give them a Super Bowl run to end their career. Or at least attempt a Super Bowl run to end their career. But drop the name in the comments.
Looking for an open receiver on the right. That's Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, this defense keeps playing this zone that leaves my receiver wide open on the outside right there. So I'm going to keep going to it if they're going to keep calling it same defense.
What they do here. He's looking to the right here on this throw. Got what he wanted. Touchdown. First down here. Tebow's gonna take it.
I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of this rookie, Zach Meow. He's a great receiver, especially in the slot. Hopefully, he can replace Cole Beasley pretty well for us this season, since we won't have Cole Beasley at all this season. So he's doing pretty well so far in these first two games.
Gets away from the pressure, challenging the defender. Troy Polamalu has an interception.
Yeah, I thought I read that right, and my guy was breaking up downfield, and Troy Polamalu apparently read it better than I did and intercepted that. That was a good play.
Handoff out of the I formation.
All right, so it skipped over halftime for us. We had a nice lead, 28-13. Hopefully that continues in the second half.
Second down now.
And a quick word from our sponsor. Are you a fan of reading alternate history books? Do you like time travel and science fiction? Well, check out the book, A Stumble Through Time, available on Amazon Kindle. The story of a man traveling through time in an attempt to erase a future that he wished never happened.
He's got the grab, and he's got the first. Blackman's lined up now as a slot receiver. Looking for a receiver on the left side here. He is tackled right at the 50.
You got to be able to adjust when you run these drag routes across the field. The throw cannot always be right on target. Can you reach?
So I don't know if it was my multiple years of watching Tom Brady just dominate the league with these smaller white slot receivers, but I'm enjoying what we have. With Cole Beasley back next year, with Griff Wallen and Zach Meow, I think we'll have a pretty good combination, especially with Golden Tate and Justin Blackman on the outside. We might have one of the best offenses in the league, not only this year, but probably next year too.
Play number 6 coming up on this drive. Here it's 3rd and 7.
The only thing we really need to work on is getting our offensive line to block more and for our run game to consistently be averaging probably close to 100 yards per game. That'd be nice.
That long gain sets them up here on this play. He makes the catch.
And now rookie Zach Meisel is out for the rest of the game. Hopefully not longer than that, because we definitely need him.
And don't like to speculate, but I think it's pretty apparent it's an upper body injury. We'll let you know when we find out.
The Jaguars now move the chain. First down on the way. Tebow's going to take the snap from the shotgun. Touchdown, Jacksonville Jaguars. Jones-Drews in the backfield. Single back set. Gains maybe 5. Wide receivers are bunched up. It's a 2nd and 5 here. They'll go ground. There's the tackle, but still, it's enough for the first down.
That's an excellent job.
All right, so at this point in the game, we have a 19-point lead. You'd think I'd just keep handing it off to Jones-Drew and run out the majority of the second half. But you'll just stick around and watch. You'll see me try forcing a couple throws here and there.
Guys, I just spoke with a Jaguars official. The medical staff is saying he could play if needed, but the team's going to play it safe and hold him out the rest of the way.
Lewis is in the slot receiver role for this upcoming snap. Makes the catch.
All right, so Zach Meisel is only out for this game, and we will have him back for the rest of the season. The injury doesn't last longer than this game, so that's a good positive news for our team and for our offense.
2nd down. Tebow standing back in the shotgun, ready for the snap. And it's Polamalu who's able to bring him down.
And in other news, I realized that I forgot to tell you who won the Super Bowl last year. It was the Texans over the Seahawks. Surprising, but Matt Schaub, the starting quarterback for the Texans at the time, got his first and only Super Bowl win. That's completely different from what happened in real life, but that's how it happened.
Play number 6 coming up on this drive. Looking to the right side and throwing. It's a touchdown. They come to the line, and it's first down. He'll fire it out to the left, bringing the play to an end.
All right, so last year, Maurice Jones-Drew ended up with 28 catches for us for 282 yards and one receiving touchdown. So hopefully this year, we get him more involved in the pass game, not only just as a runner for rushing, but hopefully we could get him involved in the pass game, because he is kind of like a receiving back too. But in these first 2 games, I somehow only get him 2 catches. So going forward, that's one of my goals. And with the improved fullback that we signed in free agency, Lex Hillard, to a 1-year deal, I'm going to try getting him more involved. As of these first 2 games, he has 0 rushing attempts and 0 catches because he just dropped that pass. But hopefully going forward, since he's a better fullback for us, not only can we get him to block, but hopefully we can get him involved in both rushing and passing.
Looking for an open receiver on the right. Ball's picked off. They pounce on him there.
Nice job of the defense at time. In position.
All right, so we still got a 42-19 lead after my last interception. Hopefully I don't throw any more of those, but I know it's because I keep calling the same pass play over and over again, and They're figuring out how to jump these routes. So I might have to start mixing it up with my play calling. But if it works, it works. Who cares? All right. Yeah, definitely threw back-to-back interceptions in the last 2 drives. Hopefully this one ends in points or a punt instead of a turnover.
Loading up with extra defensive backs in the dime. 2nd and 6. Gets away from the pressure. The tackle was made, but the first down is picked up.
Well, the defense put the pressure on the quarterback, but they didn't take advantage of it.
Also, I noticed that not only did I set the record for rushing yards by a quarterback in a season, I was 1 touchdown away from tying Cam Newton's 14 touchdown record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. So hopefully this year I could get 15 and break his record. So the goal is 15 rushing touchdowns by me, Tim the Man Tebow.
The throw to the left makes the catch in open space.
All right, that's our 2nd-year running back, Denard Robinson, getting involved in the passing game. He is our 3rd-string running back, and apparently like our 8th-string receiver. We only will get plays when we have injuries like we do this game. So when he does get on the field, I'm trying to get him more involved in the game. So if you see his name pop up, that's why.
2nd and 10. Eyeing that left side. What a hit, and the ball is dropped. And now we reach the 2-minute warning.
The defense has got to be a little aggressive here. Your team is down. You've got to attack this offense. You don't want them to get in there and get another score.
3rd and 10. Caught it, but he's out of bounds.
I'm pretty sure Justin Blackman was in, and that should have been a touchdown right there. But I'm not the coach, so I can't challenge that. So the coach is going to kick a field goal.
You try to shadow him, look for the football, and try to make a play.
And he puts it through for 3.
Well, that time the offense had great field.
Jones-Drews shifted out wide to the left as a receiver. And he is brought down at the 39.
All right, I'm calling a timeout just to get one more play in to pad my stats a little bit more because of those 4 interceptions. Trying to make myself look a little bit better.
And it's in the books. He's looking to the right here on this throw to the 25. This game's come to an end. Now you start to get a little momentum going. You got the win last week, and you pick up another victory here today.
It's just awesome, isn't it? You know, athletes are incredible. Give them a little positive reinforcement like winning the football game. They believe in what they can do. The coaches believe in them, so they actually give them more opportunities.
All right, so now we're 1-0 at home and 1-0 on the road. In our next game, we'll be taking on the 1-1 San Diego Chargers. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and come back for our next video.
They take advantage of that great talent, and they get the ball down the field for the TD.